Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be working on the Farmall H more while I'm waiting for parts to put my other engine together, and I'm also going to destroy this nice white shirt of mine. So the plan today is to hopefully get this exhaust valve freed up, and as well as clean out the gearbox and differential because it is disgusting in there. But first we are going to start here with this exhaust valve. This exhaust valve has been sitting for a couple days now. I hammered it down, and I hammered it down a little bit too far, and the poor thing was staying down. So I'm hoping with the pressure of the valve spring on it, it eventually pop loose, but I guess we will see. Still not a pro at getting this valve cover off yet, but it's a little taut in there. Well, I guess I'm getting better. Yeah, and unfortunately, she's still stuck. So I'm gonna sit and brainstorm how I'm gonna do this. There's a ladybug in there. Those guys get everywhere. Oh, and before we go on that, I want to ask you guys, I have to repair the Haybine here. So these little insulators that go in between the little hodolators, they're all messed up, and I'm surprised this one even has one. Most of them are gone, and it's wallering out the holders. As you can tell right there, that one's missing, and it's even going into the pipe. So if you guys are interested in getting a video on that, drop in the comments below, and I'll gladly upload that. So here's the situation on the H. I have a couple options here. Worst case scenario, I can unbolt this whole rocker arm assembly on the top, and then I can weld something to the end of that valve and just kind of it on up with a slide hammer. But of course, you know, that requires welding on it and whatnot, and you want a nice flat surface for this and blah, blah, blah. That's a worst case scenario, and hopefully we won't have to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just get a flathead screwdriver and chisel in between those springs there, in hopes that'll pop back on up. I know it's not the best option out there, but it's the option we got. And the last thing I want to do is hit it with heat because, well, you know, it's a spring. I don't want it to get a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Spring rate per se. That'd be no bueno. If we can make it an entire video without my phone falling and hitting the ground from me hammering, I'll consider that a success. We're just moving the spring around. I suppose you can kind of pry up on that retainer. Is that push rod pushing down on that at all? No, it is not. I guess another thing we could do, worst case scenario. Well, no, I have no give. I was going to say I was going to hammer the top of that and free those retainers up, but we have no more squish left because I kind of screwed around and found out. But I think she'll come. And I thought about it. Another thing I could do is actually just turn the engine on and get it running. And hopefully just the heat of that happening would eventually free this up. I've already turned this engine over completely, and it's a non-interference engine, so I wouldn't be worried about a piston and a valve kissing each other. But it still obviously goes against my better judgment to do such a thing, so we're going to try a few other things first here. Gosh, this is dumb and sketchy. There's a lot of potential energy that might get turned into kinetic energy here. Is that giving a little bit? Man, I can't tell. Maybe a little reverse psychology. Maybe if I just tap down on the top a little bit, that'll help. No. And I'm not that worried about hurting this engine because I'm willing to fix things. So if something gets damaged in the process, the way I say it's the way she goes. Should be the slogan of the channel at this point. Oh, man. Oh, logical way of going about it, but it's a way of going about it, and she's gonna need work anyway, so what happens happens. I think she did go up a little bit there though. Thought I saw something move. Well guys, I've been tapping at that for a bit with no luck, and I really don't like that. I'm just going to turn the engine over one more time by hand and verify this is a non-interference engine. I have the transmission put in neutral by a screwdriver, so that's how you know it's safe. But yeah, so I'm going to turn it over by hand, make sure we get no valve and piston kissing, and then, well, I guess we'll go with the running it for a bit, and hopefully the heat from the engine will cause that to eventually expand. And considering that it's going to just kind of be an open dead cylinder anyways, that might help it heat up more per se. I don't know, I guess because it'll be coming up on the compression stroke. It'll probably be spitting flames or something, but whatever, the heat from the engine hopefully will bring this around. So right here I have you guys balancing on the valve train, so you might get knocked over, but I'm just pressing on the belt and grabbing the fan. That gives enough tension on the crank to get it to move. I'm seeing valves move. The pistons are going up and down, obviously. And I don't feel it stopping. Ow, that is really painful. I don't feel it stopping at all. So that is telling me that that valve is not getting caught up. And I am most certain that I am not strong enough to bend a valve by just pulling this. So I know that valve isn't bent, and that's why it's not why it's stuck on down. I think that's just stuck down because of rust and corrosion, and because some idiot was hammering on it too much. But you know what they say, well, away she goes. And actually another thing I'm going to do here is remove this push rod. Well, because one, it's bent, and two, the actual problem with it is when it was going up and down, when I was turning it by hand, is it was catching the side of this lip and not in the recess there. And so basically what was happening was there was even wanting to push this valve down even more. And well, it's already pushed down as much as we want it. We don't want it to happen, so we're just going to be dead a cylinder, but it was already like that anyway, so who cares. Something worth noting here, obviously I took off its means of charging, but I have it tucked up above the, I think the thermostat housing right there, and in front of behind the water pump pulley. And we're just going to jam 12 volts to this ignition coil here, or the ballast resistor that goes to the ignition coil, because we do have points. And I am going to put a ratchet strap on that clutch so it's more secure than, you know, just a screwdriver. And I did check the oil level as well. We are good, but I do know that this oil filter O-ring does leak a little bit, so I don't want to run it, you know, like all day type deal, but it'll be fine. I know that's for sure. And what else? I think we should be good. I'll just have some jumper cables. I'll bump the starter and we should be grand. Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to need to set up some fuel gravity system. That shouldn't be that hard though. Yeah, I'll get it figured out. Oh, we need to take this guy off too. Sure, that works. And that will be our throttle. And for giggles, I'm going to leave the valve cover off and see if it's really going to overflow oil that bad, or what it looks like underneath here when it's running, you know, for science. Alrighty folks, here's my redneck setup at the moment. So I have my jumper pack right there, and that's going to have 12 volts getting sent into the ballast resistor, coming out at about 6 to the points, and nada, you get that. All I'm going to have to do is grab the starter wire, touch it over on the actual wire there. Then if we go around here, touch it over on the jumper, I mean. I just have a gravity fuel system set up with a mini bike, little like, you know those kits you can like turn a normal bike into a motorcycle? Well, that's exactly what this is from. And this was off my generator because I put that on there. This gets used a lot. It's a portable fuel cell. Anyways, I have that hooked up. Gravity feeding the carburetor right here. That's open. We should be getting fuel filling up the bowl right now. And then we'll just kind of control the throttle. Well, like this. Hand choke. Might set that actually. And yeah, now let's give this a quick test crank, and if it cranks over, then we'll actually give it some voltage to that ballast resistor, and hopefully she'll fire over. Well, the resistance in those cables is so high it killed my jump pack. It turned all that electricity into heat. So now we're going to have to use the truck here, and hopefully this starts. I only have one good battery in it, and the other battery's so-so, and the connections are kind of bad, so I guess we're going to see here. Alrighty. Come on, sweetheart, wake up. Will it idle? Kinda. Good enough. My jump pack even has AC. Alrighty, I got my redneck jump pack hooked up, also known as a 7.3 Power Stroke. Let's see if that's enough to get this massive 2.5 liter engine turnover. Oh my gosh, these grounds are horrible. All right, sometimes she'll turn over, sometimes she won't. I'm just gonna send it. We're gonna be shutting the choke here, crack it open a little bit. Our throttle is set to Lord knows what, so I think we'll be fine. Let's just go and try and turn it over here. Oh, I forgot, I need to put 12 volts to this guy somehow. All right, so I had to add a million more other grounds, otherwise it wasn't gonna run right. It's because it's hooked up to the Ford, so it caught secondhand ground problems. But now it's hooked up right, turns over great, shot a flame out the top, so you know that's totally safe. Let's get this thing turned over and running. All right, switch our ignition on, like here. Still got the ballast in, we're keeping it 6 volts. Professionals have standards. All right, I'll set you guys over here and we'll get her started. Yeah, who would have thought a cylinder igniting with an open exhaust valve would shoot flames out the top? I kind of called that coming, but man, I did not think it'd be that loud. Anyways, pretty sick. Yeah, no, I think this got set into the stratosphere, but it came back down, so that's good. And you know, the funny thing is after we fix that one push rod, this thing's running better than it ever has. So my theory here is this guy will come around as the engine heats up. I hope, fingers crossed. I'm gonna put the valve cover back on the top of it here, and then hopefully it'll kind of keep that heat trapped in there and let her go. And I'm surprised that there isn't oil going everywhere. Where does the oil run in these? Is it internal? But anyways, okay, so it must be internally lubricated. The reason I knew that this mustn't have dumped oil everywhere is I saw this loose junk down here. And I thought, okay, well, there was oil circulating in there and that's dumped back down in the crankcase. I thought this is actually the best it's ever ran, so that's pretty awesome. Let's give her a little bit of a rev here. Just a little one. Oh. Apparently that was the forbidden rev. Got to keep a pressure on that oil pressure. Keep an eye on that oil pressure gauge too, because you know we are leaking oil. Let's give her a little touch off here. My sophisticated starting. Little rev. think this coolant gauge works. Let her run for a bit. Redneck cruise control. I want to rev it up too high, but it was just sitting a little too low and bogging down. Now we're just going to let her cook for a bit, and we'll come back to it. I'll keep an eye on the coolant and oil pressure gauge, of course. Take a little air conditioning break. Oh, alright, well that's been messed with now. Alright, enough of the air conditioning break. Well, meanwhile this is doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and actually clean the gearbox here. Just going to rinse some water through it, break up all that cruddy debris, and then in the end there I'll put a nice thick layer of WD-40 to protect it so it doesn't flash rust. How it's warming up because that oil is just dumping out of there now. I really need to replace this filter. Well, the point's probably moot, but maybe just a little bit tighter. Without fixing leaking. That O-ring though, probably shot. Or it could be worse. It actually could be that gasket there. Whatever. It'll be fine. Well guys, she's ran for a bit. You did see me clean this off while doing that too. Now what we're gonna do is pop off these bolts here, or these nuts I should say, and see if that valve has come loose at all. And if not, we'll give it a couple taps and prise and hope it pops up, because now that the engine is warm, hopefully it's clearanced out a little bit more around those valve guides. Okay, valve cover off, and still it seems to be stuck down, but there's still hope. I'm going to try and pry on it a little bit and hope she'll come around. So I have the screwdriver between the springs, but that really doesn't mean much. I don't think it's still going up at all. Hopefully I don't want to dent up that metal too much. You know, this tractor survived 79 years. Can at least do the justice of semi-caring about it. I'll have to go at it a little longer. Alright, final go at it here. Need a longer pry bar. I will say it's coming up slowly, I think, but it's almost like negligible. Just negligible. One more go. Get at a different angle too. Nope. Oh well. Well, if there's one thing we got done today, at least it was, oh come on. At least it was clean off this gear case a little bit. There's a lot less debris and junk in there. I mean, there's still tiny bits, and I'm gonna have to go through and wash it again multiple times because, well, I gotta go back here and clean this too, and it's gonna get debris everywhere, but it looks a lot better in here and a lot less junky. Little water displacement 40 to protect everything here. I also saw one of you guys comment about this little C-clip in here, and I don't know, it is loose. Let me zoom in on it. There it is right there by the center carrier bearing. I think that's supposed to be like that. Is there one on the other side? No. I think that doesn't allow any lash in this shaft here. But if that's wrong, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Well guys, today didn't go as planned on the Farmall H. At least we got the platform area cleaned up and whatnot, but that exhaust valve isn't coming loose. And at the end there I really started hammering at it. And I don't like doing that, but if I gotta replace parts or take it apart, it is what it is. Drop in the comments below if you know any tricks that might bring that around. I let that run on 2 of those like little quarter-gallon gas tanks, and I guess it didn't get hot enough. Hindsight being 2020, I wish I took out the push rod for the intake valve too, so it wasn't washing the cylinder with fuel, and that fuel could have been cooling the cylinder too, and that's working against us obviously, because then it can't get the cylinder head in that area as hot, if you know what I mean. But maybe there's a drawback to that too, but that's what my brain's thinking. But drop in the comments below if you guys know any way I could maybe get that valve unstuck, because I'm kind of at a loss for words. I guess I could like maybe get like a clamp on top and then try lifting the whole thing up with the loader bucket, but worst case scenario, I break or bend the valve. I mean, I might need one anyways. It's not a big deal. I'm really trying to not take a cylinder head off, because that's just more money, and I'm not afraid to spend this money, but I want to restore this next year. I want to drive it this year, so I don't know. Runs great though, besides that. I mean, it's awesome. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys would do in this situation. Cicadas are out, they know I'm recording. It's kind of a weird situation, but it is what it is, and I enjoy making content on it, and I enjoy working on it, but there's only so much I can do. Things are starting to fall behind here on the property. I got a bunch of wood to split, I got stumps to grind, the lawn's getting overgrown, and that's just the property, and not counting in the house and in the shop. But I'll keep wrenching away at this age because you guys like it and I like it. And again, I know I say this every video, but thank you for all the interest in this, and thank you guys for telling me your stories and just everything in general. I really enjoy interacting with you guys and learning how you guys got in these old tractors or just old stuff in general. I was even talking to a guy about Ford 300, so that was pretty awesome. So I know we also got that center clip too, and just talking to another guy about that. But I'm going off on a tangent now, guys. Expect more of the Farmall H in the future here. I'm just gonna see what you guys say. Gonna think of a couple things to do. Worst case scenario, I have to take the cylinder head off, and hey, that's just another video for you guys to watch, and you guys like watching these videos, so I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Again, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.